So we are going to move into, I think Thomas, is Thomas here? Thomas? Where's Thomas? Thomas? Oh. All right. So we're going to go through the process of starting a business. So we're going to start off with the idea generation, or what do you want to talk about? Let's go.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Nellis. You guys all airmen here? Raise your hand if you guys are airmen. Everybody? Navy? Any Navy? Marines? Army? There we go. Any Army? All right. Army? I'm Army too. Okay. Actually, let me see that. Can I get one of you guys to grab with this mic, and if we need to get the audience engaged, we can pass it off to them? All right, so my name is Thomas Typinski. I am an 8-year Army veteran. My first duty assignment was 10th Special Forces Group, Fort Carson, Colorado, and followed by that was White House Communications Agency. Some of you guys might know WACA, was a shared joint unit. And from there, I started 4 businesses, 2 that are pretty profitable, 1 that was a pretty utter failure, and then most recently, I started a new business. Now, everything that I learned in that terrible, horrible failure, I bought into this new business, and it was more successful than, it's already been more successful than I ever thought it could have been. So, it's really important to be able to flow through your successes and your failures and learn from your failures. That's the biggest difference in being able to be a successful entrepreneur. A lot of people that want to own their own business want to be an entrepreneur, but they end up giving up after their first failure. And you want to just keep on going. As long as you keep going, you won't fail. So, in order to change your life, guys, you have to change who you are. In order to have a different life than what you have right now when you're getting out, you have to change who you are. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. I was talking to Phil a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned to me that when he was first starting out, he had to work 3 or 4 jobs, work 13, 14, 15-hour days, all day long, work as hard as he could so that he could put food on the table and take care of his family and do what he needed to do. And from there, I was thinking about it afterwards, and I was thinking about, I wanted to ask him, hey, Phil, if you had the chance, would you do that all over again? And as my first instinct was, of course, Phil would do it all over again. Of course, he would work as hard as he could to take care of his family. But then as I thought about it a little bit more, I thought that if he had to do it all over again, he actually wouldn't have to. He wouldn't have to go through all those struggles. And the reason is because he changed who he was throughout the process to be an entrepreneur. So it's a whole change in yourself, and it all is surrounded about investing in yourself. Phil's told me that he spent hundreds of thousands of dollars investing in yourself, and it's great that you guys are here today investing your Saturdays to better yourself as you transition out of the military. So it's my goal here today to provide you with as much value as possible. I want to be direct to the point, do some exercises. But before I do some exercises, I want to talk about a little bit of mindset. Now, I think that the biggest thing for us as veterans, I think that we have some advantages and some disadvantages being a veteran. And but before I ask this question, or before I go into this, how many of you guys want to be business owners? Okay, good. And any of you already have a business? Okay, all right, great. Well, and are all of you still in the military, or some of you are transitioned out? How many of you are still in the military? Any of you out already? Okay, a couple of you. Okay, so as you transition out, I just want to share with you a few of my experiences and some advantages and disadvantages. I don't know what it's like in the Air Force, but in the Army we have something called leadership, LDRSHIP, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Those things most people don't have. So just coming out and having those values is going to help you and put you head and shoulders above the rest. Another thing is, something that I always try and remember is right place at the right time and the right uniform. Now, that doesn't mean you always be wearing a suit so that you're always looking as sharp as possible. Sometimes when you're wearing a suit, you're going to make people look uncomfortable. But when you go someplace, you want to make sure that you're respecting that person. So you're in the right place, show up on time, make sure you're in the right uniform. Also, if you're going out with your friends or going out with your girlfriend, you don't want to be too sharp. You want to be casual enough to make them comfortable. So just make sure as you go through life, different situations, you're in the right place at the right time and the right uniform. But even more importantly are the disadvantages, the things that we need to conquer as veterans as you guys transition out. We kind of been put into a system, right? Every day we wake up, we have PT, we have to go be there at a certain time, we have to have our boots shined, we have to make sure that we're in the uniform that we're told that day. Sometimes it might change right in the morning. We thought we had to be in our PTs, then we had to change and be into our uniform. We had to show up on time, we had to be there for a few hours, do our job. The job that we're doing, we got sent off to an actual job academy. Could have been months, could have been years. Some of you guys probably spent years in your job academy learning how, and it's all about integrating you into the system step by step. So if you do one little thing wrong, flip one little switch wrong, it could be a problem, right? And then after you're doing your job, you got lunch, 11:30 to 1. You guys are Air Force, maybe you take it until 2 and have a drink at lunch, I don't know. But then eventually you come back and you have the rest of the day. You leave work when when everyone else tells you. So it's a system, right? That's a disadvantage to us. To me, it was a very hard transition for me because I was out on my own, and I had a job for a year, a six-figure job, but I saw the writing on the wall and decided to become an entrepreneur. And I thought I was going to be, on my own and just be a millionaire in a couple of months. It wasn't that way. I thought, oh, I'm my own boss. I can wake up when I want to. But I think my recommendation to you guys is to keep that system, to use that momentum. So, judo, jiu-jitsu, it's all about leverage, right? So you got momentum going in with this system, so you keep yourself in this system, guys. So keep a system for yourself. Have a schedule of the day, what you're going to be doing for the day. And also, don't stop doing PT. Make sure, that's good for your mind. That's good for your routine. Just make sure that you have a good routine. Don't get lazy and don't get out and kind of get crazy because you think that you have freedom. Because really, eventually, that's gonna lead to some trouble. I mean, I had to almost foreclose on my house when I first started my business. So, there's some definite downfalls if you don't really have a system, right? So being your own boss isn't as great as it's cracked up to be. Sometimes it's good, and we're all used to it, that every day we just need to show up and follow direction for the most part, right? Even if we're NCOs or senior officers, we still have somebody above us that's telling us what we should be doing day to day, and you don't have that when you get out as entrepreneurs. So it's very important for you guys to create your own system. Use the momentum that you have as veterans